Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. The double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS, who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Ainon. The title of the video is America is Fracturing. Right? And basically, America is dying. All right, what does fracturing mean? Fracture. It says break or cause to break, sustain a fracture of the bone. The point I wanted right here was with reference to an organization or other abstract thing split or fragment so as to no longer function or exist. The movement had fractured without its leadership. And ultimately, America is fractured, right? We're having constant government shutdowns. These things are being, repeated. You know, damn near every other month, every few days, there's another government shutdown. All right, and a big reason for that is because the division that's happening, with these devils. This is Matthew 12 and 25. It says, and I will shout knew their thoughts and said to them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. Right, and we can see America's fracturing, right? That's why the governments are shutting down, different partial government shuts down, full government shuts down, people not getting paid, right? People being fired, people leaving their jobs, because of what's happening here in America. It says, if Satan casts out Satan, who is divided against himself, how then shall his kingdom stand? And that's exactly what's happening with the two sides, or all the different many sides, in these last days, fighting each other because they don't know where they stand no more. You have blue and red, right? But now, they're seeing that they're all in the same party. Elon Musk came out with an idea to do like a third party one time, right? People talking about, who might be the next president, and anyone's trying to run for president now in these last days because that's how fractured and divided these devils are. All right, so I just typed in Google America's fracturing, and AI has something to say about it. It says America is experiencing significant fracturing driven by deep political polarization, cultural disagreements, and regional disparities, with many analysts considering the division the most severe since the Civil War. This fragmentation manifests through intense partisan animosity, so deep hate, between different groups of people. How they're ruling things. That's why nothing can be voted on correctly. One party wants to do it this way, the next party wants to do it that way, right? The civilians want to do it their way. It says with 15 to 20% of voters viewing opposition as threats to the nation. So you have the 50s and second edges, talking about sedition among men, right? Basically trying to overthrow the government because people no longer trust the government. So the whole world is, the whole country is divided, right? The world is divided. You have different UN, international laws and things like that. Many people walking around right now are supposed to be locked up. Bibi not a Jew. He's walking around. He's wanted by international courts. Some people say, yeah, arrest him. Some people say, don't arrest him. So they're completely divided. All right. And I got some definition too. Political polarization is the growing extreme divergence of political attitudes away from the center toward ideological extremes, often characterized by high-level animosity, pitfalls include any group bias, media echo chambers, income, inequality, and cultural debate. Yeah, a lot of things that Trump is doing is for the wealthy elites. All right, a lot of things that he's putting into place is not helping, the everyday American. Right, and that's why there's rising up. And you still have a party that's supposed to back the Democratic Party is supposed to, for the most part, back your lower class income individuals, like for the people, so to say. So they have that division going on regarding what Trump is doing because it's all for the banking elites. It's all going towards AI and causing these lower class people to not have work or anything like that. All right, so America is uh, fractured, right? So here's Homeland Security just shut down millions for further effects. Play that 5 minutes of the video. And once again, this is just an ongoing thing. How many shutdowns have we had so far? Counting them, at least four or more. You know, That's your whole government. I remember, what is it? Pam Bundy was like, if we possibly everybody in Epstein, the government will collapse or shut down. So that's how serious and bad, you know, it is for the government to shut down. But they've been shutting down every other month.
As of midnight last night, the United States government is now in another partial government shutdown, and this one specifically as a result of the Department of Homeland Security not being funded. Over the past week, we've been seeing a lot of reports like this that says DHS on brink of shutdown as lawmakers leave DC without a deal. The lawmakers left Washington, D.C. early. We knew there was no way they were able to keep the government open by funding the Department of Homeland Security. And now experts say that we are at risk. Millions of Americans are at risk, and airports are at risk of seeing extreme delays once again. Look at this right here. And listen to this.
Voted yes. Now, 260,000 federal workers are at risk of being furloughed. Border Czar Tom Homan, meanwhile, said that the Trump administration has wrapped up its large-scale immigration enforcement operation in Minnesota, known as Operation Metro Surge. He says ICE rescued over 3,000 missing unaccompanied migrant children during that time. Joining me now is Florida Congressman Byron Donalds. Congressman, it's good to see you.
One of the questions I have, ICE went and were able to get 3,000 children. How do we not hear more about this? That's one of my questions. Okay, I want to play that for you again. Okay, let's go back and listen to it a little bit more. Listen to this one more time.
Metro Surge. He says ICE rescued over 3,000 missing unaccompanied migrant children.
3,000 unaccompanied migrant children. How did we not hear about any of this? Why are we just now hearing about it? Again, this is part of the issue. What information can we actually get from these reports? Okay, again, let's listen to the rest of this. Okay, let's keep listening. Listen to this right here.
Here, the House and the Senate won't be back in session until February 23rd, and DHS could be shut down for at least 10 days. What's the impact?
Oh, the impact is huge, Maria. It's not just about ICE operations, which, by the way, a lot of them were funded in the president's agenda last summer, One Big Beautiful Bill, where we passed the largest middle-class tax cut, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. So you're talking about Border Patrol, not just ICE. So our border agents who are protecting this nation, they are now at risk. Nobody really likes going through there, but you're talking about TSA agents. They could be furloughed. And we know what happens when you have longer security lines at our airports. It frustrates the American people. It slows down air travel. We just went through this last fall when the Democrats pulled their last government shutdown stunt. You're talking about customs and immigration, customs enforcement, that gets shut down. The United States Coast Guard, that gets shut down. And listen, in Florida, we just had a major freeze of crops in our state. And who also gets shut down because of the Democrats' craziness is FEMA. So the Democrats have decided that they would rather shut down vital aspects of the American government to secure this homeland because over ICE. And the truth of the matter is the reason why the ICE situation has become what it is not because of Donald Trump. It's because of Tim Walz. It's because of Keith Ellison. It's because of Jacob Frey and the radical Democrats who want to return to the Biden years where our borders were wide open and ICE had no ability to do anything about it.
Interesting. Now, here's the reason why I'm bringing this to your attention. First off, obviously, just this morning, we saw that the Department of Homeland Security is shut down. We are going to see hundreds of thousands of workers, okay, get furloughed. This is a huge concern. And it's not just because, they're not going to get a paycheck for a couple of days. Keep in mind, last week, okay, or about 2 weeks ago, we saw there was a government shutdown lasted 4 days, okay, over the weekend, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they're back to work. Everything was perfectly fine. We knew that was coming. That was okay because we knew what was coming. And those workers knew a paycheck was going to be there at the end of it. This one is completely different. For the Department of Homeland Security, as of today, it's February 14th. Well, they have 9 days. Okay, we will not see the Congress back to Washington until February 23rd. Okay, that's in it's almost 2 weeks. Okay, in 9 days. That is the concern, is that they know for at least a week. Okay, they're going to be working for free as of right now. No paycheck is coming, which it's not going to come anyway over that time. But
anyway, the government is fracturing. All right. Obviously, people aren't, if you're working for the government and that thing is shutting down, you're not going to get paid. And by this time, people should, be aware of that. Because like he just said, we had a shutdown last week. These shutdowns are coming more constantly as America basically is about to be destroyed. All right. You saw the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. Right. You have this cool Lord in place, sending out these different decrees. Right. That's messing up the place up. And also you have these different advisors, which are causing this place to go down too, because they're not America first, they're US first. Because all his advisors are of a Jewish, right? They're from over there in Israel. All right. And that's why you see America doing the thing that they're doing for Israel. And the whole world is saying, they're asking us, who does Nero 27 work for? Right? This is Isaiah 19:1. It says, "This message came to me concerning Egypt. Look, the Lord Yahweh Bashmawashai is advancing against Egypt, riding on a thick cloud. The idols of Egypt tremble, the heart of the Egyptians melt with fear." Now, this Egypt is talking about America, right? And the Lord Yahweh, right? Yahweh Bashmawashai is going to come on a thick cloud, which is a chariot, what some call a UFO. He's going to come here to America and destroy this place. It says, I will make Egyptian fight against Egyptian, right? That's American against Americans, right? For the lack of bread, the want of things, going into the second Ezra 15 and 16, the city's being troubled. All of that is coming, and especially with this the division among who do you support? How do you feel about what's happening in the world right now? People are divided about that, right? People, if you like Nero 47, they want to beat your ass. You see everywhere these people go, they get booed in the different stadiums. Kind of like a football game. I think people don't fall over a football game. People don't fall over you stepping on their shoes. You look at it the wrong way, right? So all that the same type of mindset is still there. Regarding these people. It says, I will make Egyptian fight against Egyptian, brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor, city against city, province against province. The Egyptians will lose heart, and I will confuse their plans. This is exactly what's happening. Or they're confused. The counsel is gone from these devils. So they will plead with their idols for wisdom and call on spirits, mediums, and those who consult the spirits of the dead. And that's exactly what they're doing, because they're trying to figure out a way to save themselves. We know that there's no healing of the bruise of this devil, though, pursuant to Jeremiah 51, I believe 9, and Nahum 3 and 19. That wound is grievous. It says, I will hand Egypt over to a hard, cruel master. A fierce king will rule them, says the Lord Yahweh Bashmawashai, the head of heaven's army. And we have a hard, cruel master now. That's Nero 47. All right, and that's why America is fracturing. And things are getting complicated and harder out here for the everyday American. It says the waters of the Nile will rise and flood the fields. The riverbeds will be parched and dry. Now, this is going through the word right here, as the Jews were saying, the different officials won't be able to work. And for example, let's just say someone had a job where they travel a lot, and they got to get on the plane. So not only does the official don't work, the person that got to get on the plane may not be able to get to work on time. Different things, different forms of transportation, different things are going to mess up. Says the canals of the canals of the Nile will dry up, and the streams of Egypt will stink with rotting reeds and bushes. All the grain along the riverbank and all the crops along the river will dry up and blow away. What is this? This decay, right? Decaying. So if the fishermen will lament for lack of work, those who cast foot into the Nile will groan, and those who use nets will lose heart. There will be no flax for the harvesters, no thread for the readers. We see the farmers, mind you, farmers around the world are still protesting, blocking traffic, throwing manures, in the middle of the road, all of that. They would be in despair, and all the workers would be sick at heart. The workers now not getting paid, don't know when the next paycheck gonna come, don't know if the government's even gonna open back up. You know, one day that thing gonna shut down, and that's gonna be it. What fools are the officials of Rome? Their best counsel to the king of Egypt is stupid and wrong. Will they still boast to Pharaoh of their wisdom? Will they dare brag about all their wise ancestors? Yeah, they talking about high IQ. You know, that's what they say now. They say they don't want the high IQ, but America is done it. Say, where are your wise counselors, sir? Let them tell you what God plans. The Lord Yahweh Bashar Shah, heaven's armies is going, what the Lord Yahweh Bashar Shah, heaven's armies is going to do to Egypt. Right, that's why you have Isaiah 47, where it says, stand out with thine enchantments and see if you're able to save yourself, you know, roughly paraphrasing strictly. It says the officials of Jones, which went into America, are fools, and the officials of Memphis are deluded. So America, right? Fools deluded. All right. Let me see this real quick. Page review. Receive. Deluded, believing something that is not true. Hey, yo, you got Psalm 49:11, the inward thought that the house shall continue, you know, forever, you know, to generations. And that's why they're making plans, how they make them now too, setting up things for like 20 years in the future when they don't got that much time. The officials of Zone are fools, and the officials of Memphis are deluded. The biggest of the people have led Egypt astray, right? America is done. The whole world is saying it. You know, the dollar is about to collapse, they're about to go to war. They don't have enough ammunition to fight the war, right? Says that the Lord Yahweh Bashar has sent a spirit of foolishness on them. So all their suggestions are wrong. They cause Egypt to stagnate like a drunk in his vomit. Yeah, that's the Most High sent a spirit of foolishness on them. All right. So they're staggering. Their suggestions are wrong. Maybe we should do this. Maybe we should do that. Just like Trump now. This man is trying to threaten Iran by saying everything he has over there. And what that's going to end up is he's going to have to use all of that shit. And a lot of that stuff might get shot up. All right. Now it's going to be a bigger war. You know, instead of Iran just hitting some military bases on the land, if you could have simply just evacuated or something, you know, whatever the case may be, because it's just a military base. You know, if you would have went in there, you know, just speaking as a man, I guess whatever your goal is to delete the nuclear enrichment, if you just bombed it the correct way, and then and bring all your stuff over there, you probably would have did something. But now all your shit over there, Iran got multiple attack opportunities, and not only that, now your soldiers. So people in America is going to be upset about that, and it's going to spiral into something more than it already was, basically. All right. Says there is nothing Egypt can do; all are helpless. The head and the tail, the noble palm branch and the lowly reed. All right. And that's the point. There's nothing they can do, you know, and their council is confounded ultimately, right? And that's why America is fracturing, and you're having these different government shutdowns, right, over and over and over again. All right, so Lord willing, you edify from the lesson. You know, I just want to go into that. Shalom, too. The whole electors consist of men, women, and children. Shalom.